Hello everybody, we're going to get started momentarily. It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back in the Pursuit of Wealth. I'm going to do a little bit of a different format in today's video. For the MJ sector review, going to do some quick HEXO product reviews as well. So we'll just give it a few minutes here for people to join us. All right, I see we have some people joining us. We're going to get started here in about a minute. I'll just give it another few minutes for people to join us, and then we'll get started. We're going to do a little bit of a different format today, so going to do some product reviews, and then we'll do some detailed analysis on the HEXO chart. Figured that today warranted a live stream, so we'll get started here momentarily. All right, welcome everybody. It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for an MJ sector review. Today's a review for Wednesday. It's July 7th. Hope you were all well today. And today's video is going to be centered around HEXO Corp and some product reviews. We'll also do some stock analysis. And stock was beaten down today. If you recall from a few videos ago, I did a video saying if we lost 550, that it was likely going to be going to 502, and today we hit that support. So I see people are joining us, so welcome, welcome. I'm going to share my screen here now. And I'm also going to do a product review, so we'll get started with that as the first section of this live stream. But before we do get started, I want to just shout out to the HEXO Investors Facebook group. So this is a group that I'm a part of as well. I highly encourage you to go check this out. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. And over 1.1K members now and growing. So I highly encourage you to go check that out. And moving right on to Trust Beverage Co. So we will do some products reviews. We have the Little Victory Sparkling Lemonade. Really excited to try this one. We have the Mollo Lime 5. Probably going to be my personal favorite, but we'll see here in a few minutes. And Honey Green Iced Tea, the Veryvell brand, so the wellness brand. So we'll get started with, what should we do first? We'll do the Little Victory first. So taking a look here just at the website here. So 2.5 and 2.5 of THC, 2.5 of CBD. And if we just take a look here at the website, so they're retailing on Alberta cannabis for $5.99. Value Buds is a retailer in the area in Alberta that they should have them for a lot cheaper than that, likely somewhere around the $4 mark. But when I purchased it, it was $5.99. And just taking a look at the calories here, so there's only 25 calories per can, which is pretty astonishing. Only 5 grams of sugar, carbonated water, reconstituted lemon juice, water concentrate, sugar is cane sugar, so the emulsion technology, and that's pretty much it. And some natural flavors. So let's jump right into this first beverage. And Mollo, cheers. Oh wow, yeah, that's really good. Super refreshing. Packaged on May 20th, 2021. So not that long ago. I know a lot of people were complaining that the Mollos, not complaining, but just pointing out the fact that the Mollos had been packaged, last year. But again, that was something that they had been planning for a while, and getting that rollout, making sure it was seamless across Canada. So if you are just joining us, just as a reminder, going to do an MJ sector review, a little bit of a different format today. We're going to start with some product reviews, and then we're going to go into the news and events like we normally do, and then we'll look at some detailed analysis on HEXO and the rest of the MJ space. But this is absolutely fantastic. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel as well. I would appreciate it. And I'll just see if we can blow this up a little bit here so you guys can see. You can see that well enough. Normally I have a better setup, but I'm traveling at the moment. It's probably not going to be clear enough for everybody to see there. But you can easily just go to the website, check it out. I do want to just go over some of their drinks here. So I did a couple reviews on the XMGs. Let me know in the comments if you tried any of these. They're my favorite. They're 10 milligrams of THC as well, so pretty cool. And they also have some new products coming out. There's bake sales, so just showing you this real quick here before we get into the rest of our product reviews. So the bake sale is going to be all-purpose flour, which is primarily based on using for baking needs and things like that. But it is going to be essentially a black market killer, but retailing for $69.99 for 28 grams on the Alberta Cannabis website. And generally when we get them in Value Buds, it's going to be a lot cheaper than that. So I would think Value Buds probably going to be selling it for about $60. How does the black market even compete with that? The illicit market is essentially just getting, there's rumors around that the illicit market, some people are going and buying this from retail stores and reselling it again, but that's rather here nor there. But they also have some different formats as well. They had 3.5 gram options of the original stash. I think that was on page 1 here. So just wanted to point that out real quick. So yeah, they have the $16.99 for 3.5 grams of the indica or the sativa. One thing I noticed as well is the Mollos have been sold out for quite a while. And I'm just a little concerned that the fact that those have been sold out for a while, that's obviously going to hurt their sales. So I want to see that get restocked as soon as possible. A lot of the other drinks starting to get restocked, but that's always good to see. But yeah, absolutely, Cedric. Cheers. So sparkling lemonade, I'd give it probably an 8 out of 10. It's fantastic. Like I said, for 25 calories per can, only 5 grams of sugar. It's really good. All right, moving on. So let's do the Mollo Lime. And these drinks are phenomenal for the summertime, right? That was sort of the whole idea and why they released them just in the last couple of months. So let's take a look at the Mollo Lime. Cheers. So this is the Mollo Lime. They don't have the 2.5 option, so it's just the 5 milligram option that we have available. But really looking forward to this one. Oh yeah, fantastic. Oh yeah, 10 out of 10, I think. Don't normally give things 10 out of 10, but that is fantastic. It's super crisp. Still only, well, this is only 20 calories per bottle. Wow. The fact that they can make a beer, a MJ beer, cannabis-infused beverage, taste that good. It tastes a lot like lime. You can even add a lime slice to it as well, so it recommends putting that in the chilled glass. But 20 calories, 1 gram of sugar, 30 milligrams of calcium, 20 milligrams of potassium. So really, really impressed. When was this one packaged on? Packaged on June 1st, 2021. So that was very recent. Oh man, I want to just finish drinking that, but I got to move on and effort of time for this video. But be cool if they got the 2.5 option available for the lime as well, but we'll see. All right, so moving on to the last but not least, well, we'll see, but Veryvell. So we have the wellness brand. So this is only 30 calories and essentially 0 everything else. Oh no, it's got 5 grams of sugar. So this is made with cane sugar and honey for sweetener and green tea. So this again is the wellness brand. It was packaged on May 19th, 2021. So this one was a couple of months older, with the lime being the most freshest. So taking a look, let's get under the hood here and see what we have. So the Veryvell brand, in case you're wondering, I'll just shrink my screen sharing here, my webcam. So the Veryvell, so essentially because of the restrictions around the cannabis space, they are not allowed to say Veryvell or, you know, a wellness brand. They have to be strategic about it. So it's pretty cool that they call it Veryvell. Their slogan is Veryvell then, and they combined the Y and the V to look like a W so that it says, basically says very well, but little bit of a play on words there. So I found that was pretty cool. This is obviously the wellness brand. So 2.5 milligrams of CBD, 2.5 milligrams of THC. So a lower option for those of you who are just starting out on your MJ journey and are following the advice of the LPs and the government, which is start low and go slow. But like I said, packaged on May 19th. So last but not least, honey green iced tea. Oh, wow. You can taste the honey right away, and then an aftertaste of the green tea. Definitely tastes like it's good for you. And like green tea, you know, it's not the best tasting, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of this one, I guess, just to be completely honest with you, but I'm not really a huge fan of green tea either. Tea in general, iced tea for sure, but this one tastes more like an actual green tea. But obviously it would be very good for you. It's the Veryvell brand, so the wellness brand, which makes sense, but it's pretty good. I'd probably give this one about a 6 out of 10. I'd give the sparkling lemonade an 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10, and I'd give the Mollo 5 Lime a 10 out of 10. It's fantastic, nice and crisp. So going to end the products review section of the video there now, and we'll just shrink this video here, my screen, so we can share my screen a little bit more. So again, the Veryvell, there's also the new, if you haven't seen any of their XMG drinks, they have the citrus and the watermelon out now, which I did a review on that one. You can check that out as well. It's really good. But again, you can go check out the website and your local retailer for access to those, and expecting them to be in Value Buds in Alberta at some point in the next probably week or two. Generally, whenever it hits the website on Alberta Cannabis, it takes a couple of weeks for them to get access, because they all get it from this website as well. Also want to just remind everybody that there's a video here from Benzinga. It was Talking Cannabis with HEXO Corp CEO Sebastian St. Louis, and that was from yesterday. It was absolutely fantastic. The video is about 34 minutes long, but the interview wasn't that long. It was only about 20 minutes maybe in the video, 25 minutes. And it's pretty cool to watch whenever, well, I could watch SSL speak all day long, but it's pretty cool to watch when people are interviewing them, and when they interview other CEOs or executives. They can't get enough of HEXO, and they can't get enough of Sebastian St. Louis, and they always keep him on for a lot longer than you normally see other CEOs. And at the end of it, you know, they're just in awe and just loving the business model, loving the brilliant strategies and things like that behind the company. So it's pretty cool. I highly encourage you to go check that out. So looking at some news and events before we look at the HEXO stock chart and do some detailed analysis in the rest of the MJ space. U.S. pot stocks, a generational wealth opportunity. And this was right on the main page of BNN Bloomberg. So Jefferies analyst Owen Bennett placed buy ratings on all 7 U.S. pot companies as he started tracking Curaleaf, Cresco, Green Thumb, Trulieve, TerrAscend, Columbia Care, and AYR Wellness, and expects each to double their share price over the next year due to the potential growth in the space. So just organic growth, also likely due to the prospect of U.S. legalization. And I would tend to agree. And there's some price targets that they had pegged to those. AYR Strategies, $80. Trulieve, $62. Green Thumb, $70. So AYR having the highest, followed by Green Thumb. But what I wanted to show you here as well, which I found really interesting, Jefferies estimates say that U.S. cannabis sector will grow at 14% rate over the next decade, taking sales from $17 billion in 2020 to $64 billion by 2030. But seeing just some mixed bags, really. Like, we saw other analysts and third-party coverage basically saying that the U.S. market could be worth over $100 billion by 2025. So not really sure. I would encourage you to take this with a grain of salt. And then also here, Bennett expects the U.S. to legalize cannabis federally by 2026. It's 2026. I had to double take that. Are you serious? I hope not. I think it'll be a lot sooner than that. But let me know in the comments below. Do you think that it's going to take that long? Do you think it's going to happen this year? I think we could get an announcement potentially at the end of this year. I just can't see them letting Canada and Mexico beat them to it and then take 5 years to leave. That just doesn't seem likely to me. And then also Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. There's been some rumors floating around that we could potentially see a bill here at some point this month floating through Congress and through the Senate. So going to be keeping a close eye on that, but I found that article extremely interesting. Sundial to contribute additional $350 million to cannabis investment joint venture. So you can check out that for more information on that as well. But we'll jump into the HEXO stock chart and we'll do a review here. So on the monthly chart, we are consolidating. We're now just looking for a higher low here compared to our previous higher low, which is down at 232. And I know a lot of people probably don't want to hear that at the moment, but on a positive note, we're still in a monthly uptrend at this point. So we haven't really had any clear downtrend yet. So we're still in a monthly uptrend. The fundamentals are extremely bullish on HEXO at the moment. If we zoom out here to the 2-month chart, we have the 10-month, the 2-month 10-period moving average there at $4.29 USD. So again, this is the NYSE ticker. So everything mentioned in this video is going to be in US dollars. So we are consolidating here, and we could potentially, if we lose $5, we're sitting at 503 here after hours. So if we do lose $5, we also have the 50 weekly moving average there at 497. So that'll be an area to watch, but I could potentially see a flush of $5. It's hard to believe that, it's hard to think that we would drop below $5. And if we did it, I don't believe that we would stay there for very long personally, as I do believe that the fundamentals, which I'll discuss in a second, are getting, just increasingly more bullish by the day. And I probably have to use 2 hands now to count the amount of bullish catalysts that are coming down the pipeline. But watch 497. After that, watch $4.29 if we do flush below $5. But wouldn't be surprised, not set up well if the S&P 500, check out my broader market video from earlier as well, but not set up well if S&P 500 starts to consolidate in any meaningful way. So this isn't exactly what bulls want to see. We are daily overbought though. RSI sitting at 2783. And I know a lot of people are very down in the dumps today, but just want to remind everybody that, it wasn't that long ago that we were back here, but, pre-split, we'll factor it in the split numbers, but, we were just at $1.80, $1.30, $2, and then we shot all the way up to 1104, and that was on barely any news. That was just on the Democrats coming in to, some hype around that, and there was really no real news. So what's going to happen when there's some real news with regards to U.S. legalization or a new CPG partner or an entry into another state, right? So there's going to be, in my opinion, there's going to be a huge move, and I personally do not want to miss that move when the real move happens. And there's so many bullish catalysts. So we have easing, we have COVID obviously ending and restrictions being loosened there. We have U.S. prospect of legalization. We have a new entry into another state potentially. We have a new CPG partner that could be announced. We have EBITDA positive, which they could potentially turn EBITDA positive again next quarter. We have EPS positive. We have the merger with Redecan that they're going to be coming out with the audited numbers from their books. So within the next couple of months, he mentioned it in this video that we should find out within the next couple of months what those numbers look like on their books, on the Redecan books. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and super interested to see those numbers. But just for some perspective, Tilray is valued at about $6 to $7 billion at the moment, and HEXO is just under $1 billion. And with the merger and acquisition of North and Redecan, that is going to put them at #1 in terms of recreational sales, in terms of market share, sitting at roughly 17%. So the discrepancy there between the market cap is absolutely astonishing. The fact that they're not even worth $1 billion in terms of market cap, and Tilray is going to be worth over $7 billion, and HEXO sitting at the #1 position, now updating their goals to be top 3 cannabis company worldwide. And SSL, Sebastian St. Louis, has alluded to the fact that he's going to be working tirelessly for himself, the company, and shareholders to make that a reality and become a top 3 global cannabis behemoth. So really excited for the future. Again, it's easy to get caught in this short-term momentum. So I just want to kind of start with a little bit of a pep talk here, but we have a ton of positive catalysts coming. I've already mentioned, I think, a half a dozen. What happens when Health Canada lowers loosens the restrictions regarding beverages, so you can buy 6 or 12 or a 24 pack. What happens when you're able to buy them in restaurants and bars? I saw a post the other day saying, can't wait till I go into a restaurant. Not only do I get the drink menu, I get the cannabis drink menu, right? The alcohol drink menu and the cannabis drink menu. So that's coming. What's happening when, advertising limits and restrictions with these MJ companies, just imagine seeing an MJ company at the Super Bowl, right? That's all things that I believe are going to come. It's just, just a matter of waiting. It's a waiting game at this point. It's just a matter of patience. And like I said, we ran up to 1104 back in the day when we had the 2017, 2018, right into 2019. We had that massive bull run leading up to Canadian legalization. Just think of the massive amounts of gains that we had back then on really not that great fundamentals. And we had so much uncertainty, right? It was just max hype and euphoria. And now we're seeing the fundamentals, basically the technicals are just not matching up with the fundamentals. And I think that's because the media, institutions, they're beating this down. There's a reason why you don't see HEXO all the time in the media. There's a reason why you don't see mainstream media covering it. And I think it's because they're trying to keep this down and under the radar as long as possible to accumulate it as much as possible. But I do believe that there's going to come a time where this could be one of the last times that HEXO's below $5, in my opinion. I truly believe that. Again, I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This is for entertainment purposes only, but I do believe that with the fact that the market is just it's sleeping right now in terms of the fact that HEXO is going to be potentially the biggest LP in Canada, and the valuation compared to its peers and market cap just doesn't make a damn bit of sense, in my opinion. So we're not looking too good here, but in terms of fundamentals, I've never been more bullish on HEXO. Just listen to this video. He talks about having dinner with Shopify and Couche-Tard and Sapporo and all these other massive Canadian businesses that are just leading innovation and just changing the world and really just taking the world by storm. And he said that a lot of these executives are invested in HEXO. They're actually shareholders. So again, a lot of good nuggets coming out of that video. But on the daily time frame here, we do have a lack of resistance up until 605, and I did exit. I exited my position here at around 560 a couple of days ago, right around here when we had that hourly bear flag. So I wasn't liking what I was seeing. I exited most of my position in my swing account, and then I looked to reload cheaper at 502 support, and then sure enough, today we got right down to 501, and I basically had SPXS, a short position, which is a 3x bear ETF on the S&P 500. I sold that to rebuy HEXO, and my account yesterday, even though HEXO was with them, it's basically offsetting any of those long and those MJ positions, right? So when MJ was going down, my account was going up because the SPXS position, the inverse SPY bear ETF, was going up. So instead of sitting through, and again, everybody's situation is different. Maybe you're in an account where you incur capital gains and that's not your goal. That's not your strategy. You don't want to deal with capital gains. But I was in my swing trade account, my day trade account, where I can do that in an RSP. So I had no problem just reloading cheaper. And you got to think too, we were just at $11. So if you're down 80% on your position or 90%, you got to always think about it in terms of buyers and sellers, supply and demand. So from back here, this is when I started buying back here in last summer, right? So there's some people who are still up, even at these current levels, that are still up over 100% on their long-term investment. So even though you might be down, maybe you bought at the top there at $11, maybe you might be down over 50% on your position, close to 60% now. There's still some people who are up maybe 200%, 100%, right? So everybody's situation is different. And like I said, from that high at $11, we're down about 55%. And we didn't even really have any news back then. That was just some hype in the sector. So just questioning how much more really downside are we going to see. Like I said, if we do see a flush of $5, going to be watching that 497 area. And then we'll look at the 2-month 10-period moving average sitting at 429. But like I said, I could see a flush. There's potential for a gap down tomorrow. We are extreme here on the RSI. So we're about to, get a daily bounce underway at some point. We don't just we're not just going to go to zero from here. And we're extremely oversold on a lot of these time frames. On the hourly RSI was almost in the teens at one point today. And the 15-minute RSI was at 11. Yeah, it was the 15-minute time frame, the 15 and the 5-minute. And we were almost 5-minute got down to 11:13. So we were almost in single digits there on the hourly chart. We did change the 5-minute trend here to begin the morning. And then we went right back into a 5-minute downtrend, but we held that double bottom there at 501. You got 2,700 shares. Yeah, I think I'm over 10,000 shares now. So I'm officially a HEXO whale. And I do have some positions, some short positions, like a short-term, long-term no-touch short position on the S&P 500, the tech sector. So I've got a ton of cash as well, but essentially I'm maxed out in my TFSA and my RSP. I can't add any more to those because I don't have any contribution room left. So I still got a ton of cash as well though, but I'd have to buy that in my margin account. So if we do see a drop, something crazy down to $4, then, maybe I'll add it in my margin account, in my cash account. But in terms of my RSP and my TFSA, I'm all in. And if we do lose, I'm swinging it overnight, not gonna lose any sleep whatsoever. If we do lose $5 tomorrow during regular trading hours, I will look to potentially just sell and reload cheaper. But personally, again, there's people who sold back here. So if you were like me selling into strength, I had an average down here, post split, my average would have been around the mid twos. So from that massive move at the beginning of the year, I was up from the mid twos, we'll just say even $3 just to be conservative. It was up almost 300%, right? So I was scaling out into that strength. I still had my long-term no-touch account, but in my swing account, I was looking to reload cheaper. So that's how I basically manage my accounts. I have one account, which is a TFSA long-term holds and no-touch position in HEXO. I'll hold that until, all-time highs essentially and beyond. And then I've got another account where, I'm going to hold that for 5 years plus and I'm not moving. I don't care what the price is. And then I have my RSP account, which is my day trade and my swing trade account. And you got to remember that when people were scaling out into strength back here at $10 or $11, you might be looking at the price and thinking it's the worst thing ever, right? Maybe you need a Mollo or something like that. But there's some people who sold, like myself, who was selling at $9, $10. I didn't see the run to 11. I was pretty much all out of my swing position at 10. But then we had that massive reversal candle there on the weekly, and we went into a weekly downtrend, and I started averaging back in right around here on this bounce. So once I seen the bottom here, we held EMA 12. That's when I started to average back in right around $7, mid sevens. And then from there, it ended up just being a lower high and a lower low, confirming a daily downtrend, but I was averaging in, right? So now my average, in my swing account is much lower than what it was when I was selling at $9, $10, right? So you got to remember that there was a ton of people who were selling back here and that are loving these prices, right? $5, and when it was just at $11, right? They're able to over double their amount of shares. So when I started buying HEXO back here, and I haven't been adding that much more to my TFSA because you can only add so much, right? You only have a certain amount of contribution room. So when I first started off back here, I only had about 1,000 shares, a couple thousand shares of HEXO. But that was, and I'm factoring in post split, right? So it was a lot more than that back then, but I'm factoring in post split. So I only had about 1,000, 2,000 shares of HEXO. And then after this massive run here, I ended up having about 5,000 shares of HEXO. And then after selling a lot of my swing position around $10 and $9 into that strength, knowing that nothing goes up in a straight line forever, then I was able to reload cheaper. Now I've got over 10,000 HEXO shares. So yes, the price is down over 50%, and you can look at that and say, oh man, shoulda, coulda, woulda, done whatever. But that's the opportunity that you have, right? You can reload cheaper. Like I said, I started off with a couple thousand shares on this big move here. I had about 5,000 shares, and then since I sold up here around that $9, $10 area, I've been scaling back in ever since $7. Went really heavy today at 5, and now I'm up over 10,000 shares, right? So it's again, everybody's style is different, so it doesn't matter. No style is better than the other, right? There's no right or wrong. It's just what works for you. And we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here on the weekly as well. So not even close to weekly oversold. It's entirely possible, but just questioning, we're super extended here on the daily time frame, on the hourly, on the 15-minute. But we are starting to bounce here. Clear rejection here. So if EMA 12 on the 15-minute has been rock solid resistance. So we did try to get over it here into the end of the day on some decent volume. And the EMA 12 is sitting there at 504. We closed right on it. We're up to 507 here. But we did, like I said, we had that little bit of a bear trap there, or bull trap rather. We changed the 5-minute trend. Didn't see follow through though, right? We had a double top there at 510, 511. If you made your entry there off that 5-minute uptrend, that was a bull trap. So you generally need more follow through than a penny. And then we went into a 5-minute downtrend, and then we looked on the hourly chart, and it's an hourly bear flag. But we started that hourly bounce, and you got to keep in mind too, we don't have any hourly resistance all the way up until 559. So we are going to be watching for an hourly oversold bounce to occur tomorrow. And then we got a lack of resistance on the hourly up over 10%. So first thing tomorrow, we didn't really change the 5-minute trend here. The lower high, no clear high or low. So we're going to look, first thing we'll look for is a 5-minute trend change, higher low and higher high. We'll zoom out to the 15-minute, confirm a 15-minute uptrend, and then we'll zoom out to the hourly, and then we'll look for the hourly oversold bounce, and then we'll likely be targeting the EMA there. But like I said, very extended. Hard to believe that we see much more downside, but again, not set up well if the S&P 500 sees any real weakness. And that's why I'm shorting S&P 500, because I don't think that MJ's really going to see a huge leg down unless we see a massive pullback in the stock market. Just going to have a drink of Mollo and look at these questions. We have a similar strategy for TFSA. Yeah, well, it's not so much a strategy, it's the law. Well, there's not really any law. It's such a gray area, but you shouldn't day trade. I did a video. Check out powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com as well. Click on the academy. There's a free course, but I also posted a couple of those videos on YouTube. But if you go on YouTube, just search Pow Group, do's and don'ts of day trading. You should not day trade in a TFSA. Just a quick little story. There was my tax specialist who knows all about this stuff. Had a client representing a client, and she was taken to trial by the CRA, and she made, I think it was like 30 trades in a year, and they took all of her gains. They took all of it because you're not allowed to day trade. So I would say less than one trade a month in your TFSA. And RSP, my tax specialist, again, this isn't financial advice. Do your own research. It's for entertainment purposes only. But what I was told from my tax specialist is that RSP is fine. You're taxed when you take it out. So it's not so much a strategy. It's pretty much borderline restricted that way. So as long as you're not day trading in a TFSA, maybe your other strategy is to just buy and hold in your RSP too, right? If that's what you mean, then yeah. But do not day trade in a TFSA, and especially with the deficit and all the stimulus and budgeting and stuff, like over budgeting. Basically, the feds have been given the green light to recoup any of that money any way they can. Don't have any other positions. Buy and hold is the only thing I've done so far. Yeah, so if that's your strategy, then absolutely. How old are you and how long have you been trading? I'm 31, and I've been trading for about 5 years now, and investing for about Over 10 years now. You seem good and confident. Thank you. Well, one thing I learned earlier on is if you don't have confidence, you don't have anything. So, yeah, if there's one thing I could, just instill in everybody is to have confidence, right? Regardless of what it doesn't matter what you do, right? Do it to the best of your ability and know that that you'll be successful, right? So let's just take a look at some of the NSP North. HEXO led the decline today. PWR, SNDL Labs on the bull list. So again, if you're wondering why HEXO is down today, look at the whole sector, right? So yeah, it was down one of the most, but CGC was down just as much as HEXO at one point. But CGC clear 5-minute uptrend here into the end of the day. So standing out as stronger. SNDL was really strong today too. Tilray in a 5-minute uptrend. So this is good, right? The more names that are in 5-minute uptrends and starting their hourly bounces, the more likely that that's going to mean that HEXO can see the same as well. And then, like I said, SNDL, look at that, off 83. Nice move. Congrats to the bulls there. It's when I hit support at 87. We did flush that. Then we had a lack down here until 71. But nice move there. And like I said, that is some crazy volume too. So 83 cents all the way up to 96 essentially. So that was about a 16% move there off the low of the day. So it's not looking that bad here for HEXO. Up to 507 here after hours. We did have some volume coming in there at the end of the day as well for HEXO. So what we want to see is the whole sector bounce tomorrow. BMMJ, yep, we'll look at that here in a second. Just want to take a look at the bull and bear list here on the US side. So GRWG, TerraSen, Bev led the decline. On the bull list, we had BioHarvest, Cresco, and TAT. And MSOS, daily inside bar today. So likely, well, actually, we're breaking the inside bearish here after hours, sitting at 39.82. So support there at 39.48. After that, the most important support is at 39.33. As we are in a daily uptrend, if we lose 39.33, we lose the daily uptrend. And then we're back scouting for a higher low compared to 37.34. But nice entry here on daily oversold conditions. So about 11% move. So it's no wonder that they came up with a bullish article here on BNN, right, about US pot stocks. Well, MSOS, the ETF that tracks all the major companies that they just upgraded price targets for, MSOS is in a daily uptrend. So that makes sense. So BAM, you want a BMMJ, right? So BMMJ, daily consolidation today. We got key support there at 30 cents. After that, 26 cents. I'm just taking a look at the weekly time frame. So weekly consolidation as well. Really struggling at EMA 12, right? We've been rejecting ever since we lost it. We haven't been able to close the candle above it since April, mid-April. So if we can close the week over EMA 12 at 39 cents or any weekly candle. So if you're looking for a bullish entry, maybe you want to wait for a weekly close over 39. And it's just been a weekly lower high. Haven't started a weekly bounce since all the way back here at 55 cents. So once we do start to bounce on the weekly, once we break the high of the previous week, we did it here actually. We had the high at 37 and we hit a high of, it was 37.21. We had a high as 37.86. So we are starting to bounce. So this could be the week that we start that weekly bounce. And we are seeing declining bear volume the last few weeks as well. And just taking a look at the Canadian ticker here as well. So again, just rejecting at EMA 12, unable to close above it. But we do have this monthly trend support line here. We're still in a monthly uptrend. And again, this is usually when people get faked out of the market, right? Especially in MJ because it's so volatile. But, if we take a look back to, let's just take a look at weed on the monthly chart. So let's just look at it right here back in before the federal government announced legalization in Canada, right? So we all knew it was coming, right? But we didn't know when. So look what happened back here. We are in a monthly uptrend, and this is back in 2016. So even if you were buying in 2015, right, you had to wait, 3 years, 2 to 3 years really for the real move to happen. Maybe even 4 years. It ran into 2019. So think about how many people, when we went all the way to $17 on Canopy Growth, and then we went, and this is the Canadian ticker, we dropped 64%. So similar to what HEXO pretty much just did, right? We're down almost 60%, but that was prior to Canadian legalization, right? But we knew it was on the horizon. We just didn't know when. Same thing now. We're going through monthly consolidation on a lot of names. We know it's on the horizon. We just don't know when. And, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're just going to keep going lower from here and lose the monthly uptrend. Who knows? But personally, with the amount of missing Canadian legalization was one, would be one thing, but I am not missing US legalization, right? I'll hold forever. I don't care. Not selling my long-term no-touch positions in MJ until the US legalizes. That is a guarantee. I'll be here until they legalize it. And similar situation here. We were looking for a monthly higher low and a monthly uptrend, and we got as low as 658. Think of how many people got shaken out of the market, held the EMA 26 there on that pullback, and then that's when we really started the move, right? Got the Constellation news there as well. So again, it went very range bound, very sideways, very boring, and then we had that massive move up. Guarantee you a lot of people got shooken out, and then we had a massive move from that $6 level up 1,200, almost 1,300%. So something similar could happen. If we take a look at all of our names, pretty much all of our MJ names are consolidating on the monthly. They're still in monthly uptrends. You can see BAM is a monthly uptrend here, low, high, higher low, and higher high. Now scouting a higher low compared to 27.5 cents. But let's just run through them. So AYR, monthly consolidation. Acreage, CL, monthly consolidation, and they're all holding EMA 12. Cura held the EMA 12, monthly consolidation. GTII, so monthly consolidation, didn't even test EMA 12, one of the stronger ones for sure. Trueleaf, holding EMA 12, monthly consolidation. And then we'll look at some of our Canadian names. They had that huge run, right? And that's why I was saying months ago in October and September, is now the time to buy cannabis stocks. And because I thought if the Dems win, which the charts were basically telling us that was going to happen. I didn't care who was going to win. But I was looking at the charts and I was like, wow, Canadian charts are very bullish, and that's where all the big money is, institutional money is. I think it's about 15% of the Canadian market is owned by institutions. So, and I think only about 5% of the US market or less. So again, once the floodgates open to safe banking, all that, it's just going to really surprise people, I think. And like I said, the US legalization is going to be 10, maybe even 100 times more hype than Canadian. It's like when the markets were closed on Monday, felt like the whole world was closed, right? But it was just the US that was closed. And like I said, it's a big deal when the US does something, especially to that magnitude. And the amount of hype that we can see in euphoria in MJ is very similar to the crypto market in that regard. But again, CGC losing its monthly EMAs, but again, we ran a lot harder as well. Cron trying to hold its EMAs. HEXO as well. We are losing it, but we'll want to see, it's fine if we just dip below it, but want to see it close above EMA 12 there at 577 to end the month. Still 22 days left, so still tons of time. But Tilray, same deal, monthly consolidation, trying to hold the EMA. And I don't think that it's a coincidence that all our Canadian names are consolidating, all our American names are consolidating, and they're all holding their EMAs for the most part. Again, we have some a little bit weaker than others. But again, it's fine if we dip below it, but we want to see a lower wick there into the end of the month. But personally, this is the time to be buying, in my opinion, with the prospect of, and I'll wrap up here, but with the prospect of legalization in the US, pretty much a virtual certainty at this point, in my opinion. It's just not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if we just take a look here at the HEXO chart, just if we get over $11, there's no monthly resistance until the all-time highs, right? And APHA before the merger, Tilray, huge moves, right? CGC was up near its all-time highs. So one would think that if HEXO is one of the top tier 1 companies, it's going to be number 1 by recreational sales in number 1 LP, and all these other LPs were just at their all-time highs or very, very near. APHA set a new all-time high before the merger. Well, if we just look from our current level here at $5 to the all-time high, that's about 5.5x, right? That's 550%. So I'm not worried at all. Like, we might drop to $4. Maybe if the market tanks, we drop to $3. Who knows? But like I said, I've been buying in since, the dollars, the $2 post split factored in. And we got the monthly Bollinger Bands getting extremely tight here as well. So a break will be imminent. CGC back within the median line there of that Bollinger Band. Tilray getting really close, getting really tight here on the Bollinger Band as well. All right, so going to pretty much wrap it up. If anybody has any further questions or tickers, now would be the time to post them. But again, highly encourage you to go check out this video. If you are just joining us, make sure to smash like, subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. And check out this video that Benzinga did with Sebastian St. Louis. It was absolutely fantastic. They were also talking about moving some of their equipment down to the United States and starting to look really good. I mean, Matt, what's going to happen when the U.S., right, when they start pumping this volume down in the south of the border? Yeah, definitely not the biggest fan of the honey green iced tea, but it's okay. I'll have to refrigerate these again. They're a little warm now. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We had quite a few people on today, and with it being the summertime, I know it's the summer lull. A lot of people are on vacation. COVID restrictions are starting to lift, and a lot of people just want to be outside. And it's been a heat wave here the last few weeks. It was kind of cooled off the last week or so, but back to really hot and humid today. And obviously people want to be outside. So all I would say is enjoy their time outside, but don't go falling asleep on the MJ industry, especially if we see a Schumer bill introduced at some point this month or the month after that. And like I said, HEXO, SSL, Sebastian said that they could have the audited numbers from Redican within the next couple of months. So that might be a catalyst and spark some analyst attention as well. AZA F. Sure, let's take a look. I just went through a name change, right? I forget what they changed it to. Audacious brand, yeah, that's what it was. It doesn't look like that happened yet, but AZA F, so just like everybody else, consolidating on the monthly. It's a monthly inside bar, so we have resistance up at 31 cents, support at 18 cents. If we break 18, we continue monthly consolidation. If we break 31, then the monthly bounce is underway, and then we have no resistance all the way up till 60 cents. And we're holding the 10-month moving average there at 24 cents, so a close above that this month would be bullish. But nice move there off the lows, monthly uptrend. The low, high, higher, low, and higher high. Now looking for another monthly higher low. And then if we can get over 60, we have no real resistance up until about $1. Monthly Bollinger Band's getting close there as well. Weekly inside bar, so monthly inside bar, weekly inside bar. Weekly downtrend still though. Essentially anything under 41 cents is just a weekly lower high. We did have a lower high here and a lower low, so we're in a weekly downtrend. On the daily time frame, closed right at the low of the day. Declining bear volume, but not a whole lot of volume today. But no daily trend change yet either. We did see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, and we had a nice move here. But we're not seeing, we need to break 31 cents to confirm a daily uptrend. And whichever way we break this weekly inside bar is likely going to indicate that. So if we break a bullish, daily uptrend confirmed. And let's take a look at HMMJ as well. So again, this is the ETF that tracks all of the major Canadian companies. And again, monthly consolidation just like everybody else. And trying to hold the 10-month moving average and EMA 12. Let's take a look at YOLO as well. So again, monthly consolidation, holding EMA 12, still above the 10-month moving average. So back up to 507 here after hours. All right. Well, it's been fun. Hope you enjoyed the product reviews. Highly encourage you to go check these out. Like I said, my favorite was the Mollo Lime 5 milligram, and then the Sparkling Lemonade. Pretty incredible that it's only 25 calories, 5 grams of sugar for a lemonade beverage. And then this Mollo 5 Lime, 20 calories. So all you beer drinkers out there with a beer gut, maybe you want to look into this. Fantastic. All right, not seeing, you're welcome. Thanks for tuning in, guys and gals. And like I said, on your way out, if you don't mind subscribing, liking, and ticking the bell, you'll be notified on any future live streams, product reviews, analysis, all that good stuff. All right. Going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth for an MJ Sector review, and we'll see you tomorrow after market close.